So we're going to create Pong in this tutorial. First thing we're going to do is we want to get rid of our sprite because we want to create our own sprite. So I'm going to hover my mouse over choose a sprite and we're going to draw our own sprite. In here we've got our fill and our outline color. So my first paddle is going to make it this color and I don't want any outline. So I've got to click the line there. Then I need to pick this square shape here which will allow me to draw a rectangle. Now what I'm going to do, this is my center point of my costume, so I'm going to draw it over the top here of this and I want it to be about that sort of size, and you can line it up just to make sure you'll see it sort of clicks into position. I think that paddle is probably a bit big, so I'm just going to grab my corner and just make it a little bit smaller. So I'm holding shift down. Yeah, that's about the right sort of size, and I'm going to pop it over there. Now I need to go back and code it, so I'm going to go to code. What I want to happen here is if I push the up button, I want it to go up, and the down button, I want it to go down. So what we have is we're going to use the events when the green flag is clicked. So when the person presses start to start the game, if the up button is pressed, so we're going to use an if statement. By the way, there are different ways that this can be done, but this I have found to be the most smoothest way of doing it. So if, and we want to sense something, so if the up button is pressed, sorry guys, so if up arrow is pressed, we want it to move, so we use the motion. And what I want it to do is I want it to change its, this is the x-axis, this is the y-axis. Positive, these are numbers going up, these are numbers going down. So I want to change my y by 10. And I'm going to right click and duplicate this and plug it in. If the down arrow is pressed, I want it to change y by minus 10 because obviously the numbers go down this way. I'm going to press stop and start just to make sure it's picked it up. Now, what you'll notice is every time I press the green flag, this is going to flash. Because what happens is it checks this situation and ends. What I actually want to happen is I want it to check this forever. So we're going to forever plug it in up the top here and it goes around the whole thing. It just hugs that whole statement. And this time, if I push up, it goes up, down, it goes down. Now, at the beginning of the game, I also want it to go to this position. So I want it to reset every time. So I'm just going to pull this down for a second and I want it motion. I want it to go to, now if you look in these two positions, you'll notice that the X, that the Y position changes, so does the X if I move it that way. So find your starting position, and actually what happens is this will update based on my starting position. And I think because it's on the Y position 0, it's in the middle, so that's nice. Plug that in. Then if I go up, stop the game, start it again, it resets there. Now once I've got that one working the way that I want, I'm going to right click. Sorry, it's not letting me do it on there. I'm going to duplicate here. And what we want to do then is this is our second one that's just appeared. We obviously need to change the color. So you go up to costumes. We'll get the paint pot. Let's pick a different color. So a nice purple there. Fill that. Okay. Back to my code. So press stop and go. The purple one goes over there. That's not what we want. We want the purple one to be here. Now I'm going to change that Y to 0 so it starts on the same sort of level. This one was at 178. So I'm going to make this one minus 178, minus 178. You don't have to be exact as that. So what we're going to do then is just stop it, pull this off, take the go-to out and put the new go-to on. Or you could have just changed the 178 to minus 178 if you wanted to. Stop it. Now they still both move with the up and down. The purple one, it should be the W key. And this one should be the S key. Okay, stop the game, start it again. And now that one moves by itself and this one moves by itself. So now pause this video, go and make sure you've got that done and it's working properly. The next thing obviously you need to have is a ball. So we're going to draw another sprite, use my circle. My little hint here with this one is, got a nice lime green there, is when you draw the circle, hold shift and it will keep it to an exact circle. So I think that's about the right size. And I'm going to go back to code. What I want to happen is when the green flag is clicked, I want it to move. And again, you will see every time I click the green flag, it is moving 10 steps, but I want it to move forever. So again, go to my loops, put a forever loop around it. And what you'll see is it is still moving, but it's stuck on the wall. So what we need to do, under motion, there is one if on edge bounce. And we're going to put that in the forever loop as well. Now, notice how it's doing a really weird bounce there. The reason it's doing that is if I go into the costumes, the ball is not in the center. Oops, sorry. I need to get the arrow to move it. The ball is not in the center of the costume, so we need to just click that on the middle, press stop and start. Now, you will notice that the ball is just going across, backward and forward. What we actually want to happen is we want it to pick a random direction from 0 to 360 degrees. So we are going to point in direction, if I can see it. Now we don't want it to point direction 90 degrees, we want it to pick. So we're going to go to control. Sorry guys. Here we go, pick random. 1 to 360, because obviously that's a full circle there. Stop. Okay, stop it again. Picks a different direction. Now, another thing, at the beginning of the game, we want that ball to start in the middle every time. So we're going to need the go to, plug it in, but this time it needs to be 0, 0, because 0, 0 is the middle of the screen, as we know from maths. Oops, sorry. When we've been doing, when you've done your X and Y axes, you know that 0, 0 is in the very middle. And then every time it goes back to that starting point. Right, last thing we need is if it touches the paddle, we need it to reverse direction. So let's just move this over here a little bit. So again, we'll put this on its own little loop. When the green flag is clicked, if touching, and what we're going to do here is I'm going to call this, oh, that's not what I want, sorry. Green paddle and purple paddle. Back to the ball. So if touching, that's to do with sensing something. So if touching, green paddle, we want it to reverse direction. So we want it to turn 180 degrees. So if touching the green paddle, turn 180 degrees. And if we're going to duplicate that, and we're going to say if touching purple paddle, turn 180 degrees. Same issue again. Look, when I click it, it stops. What is it we need to do? Yeah, we need to put a forever loop around that. And again, we just pull it up to the top there, and that hugs the whole lot of that. Press stop. Let's see if we can get that working. Oh, now sometimes it will glitch out a little bit like that. We're going very slow on this bit. Oh, sorry, guys. Start it and we'll get a better angle on it. Did you see it bounced off? Right. Next thing you need is a scoring system. So for this one, we need to go onto the stage. And we're going to go on the backdrop. And what we need here is like a goal either end. So again, I need the rectangle. I need something similar, not exactly the same color as this, but something pretty similar. So what I could do is I can actually pick up this color. Oops, sorry, get my paint dropper. Pick up that color. It's not liking that. Anyway, let's pick my own one. Yeah, just try not to pick the exact same color. We're going to do that because if the teal one gets it to this side, it's going to score. And then we need another one on the other side. So let's just click off this one, change my color. Purpley color. Again, get my rectangle, draw it right on the edge of the stage. Remember, only this box can be seen. So you can see there, I've got the purple, the blue. We're on the backdrop. We want to go back to the code and go back to the ball code. We now need some variables. So variable, make a variable. green score, make another variable, purple score. What we want to happen is if the ball touches this, we want the score to go up. Let's put the scores on the right side. So I'm doing this on the ball again. When the green flag is clicked, and we need an if touching color. And look, we can just pick up with this paint dropper, go over here. You can see I'm on that tealy color. Sorry, guys. There we go. I'm not convinced it's picked up the right color. Sorry, I'm just going to do it one more time. It's the difficulty is because it's right on the edge. There we go. So if I'm touching that color, then we go back to variables, change green score by 1, which means it's going to go up by 1. Now we need to put a forever loop around that because we always want it to do that. And we can right click and duplicate that. If touching color, paint dropper, scooch over till it's in the purple. Right, can you see I'm fully in the purple there? Click. Now we're going to find that there's a bit of a glitch with this. Let me just move these out of the way. I'm going to stop and start again so it gets a better angle. Okay, did you see it went up to 5? What's actually happening there is, and it'll do the other, oh, it went up to 11 there when it hit. What's happening is we want to just pause it a little bit. We only wanted to let it do that once. So if we do a wait, if we put a wait 1 second before it allows it to score again, we need to put it on both sides. Sorry, again, it's not got on a very good angle. Now, did you notice that the score, it's going up by 1 now, but it's still, what should happen at the beginning of the game? Oh no, I also may have a problem here. It should be changing the purple score. Okay, so it's now gone up by 1. When I stop the game and start it again though, these should go back to 0. So you can just put this anywhere you want. I'm going to go back to my variables. I'm going to say set green score to 0. And over here, set purple score to 0. Then oh no, it just keeps bouncing off my paddles. There we go. That one is going up. And it should happen. Same thing over here. That score is going up. Stop the game. And it goes back to the beginning. And that's how you make that.